Hello everyone, in today's video you will learn how to change the brightness of an LED by using the different values of resistors. I'm using the Arduino Uno R3 kit project. So the components that are required today is the Uno R3 Arduino. This is the main Arduino, which is right here. I have the 5mm LED light, which I have bended for previous usage of it, and I'll show how why you need to bend these. I have a 220 ohm resistor, just shown right here. And we also need two jumper wires for connectivity between these. They're called male-to-male jumper wires. So I have one black and one red. I don't think it matters what color you use, so it doesn't really matter what color you use. And of course I have the big white thing right here, which is a breadboard. Our breadboard is right here. Pretty cool. Okay, so I'll go through the basic components. So the breadboard, which I have right here, if you can see it, it enables you to create a prototype circuit quickly. Well, you don't have to solder the connections. So yeah, it's basically for prototype circuits. And I have the simple kind of breadboard. There's many types of these, but this is the one I have. And they do have limitations, so it's mainly for prototypes. LED. A lot of people know what LEDs are. It stands for light emitting diode. Yeah, great indicator lights. They don't use too much electricity, and they last a long time. Long lasting. So I have a 5mm red LED. There's many colors, but I chose the red one for today. Today we're using the red one. So the 5mm is the diameter of the LED. So this is a 5mm. There's 3mm and 10mm, but this is the 5mm. And one thing you should know is you can't directly connect an LED to a battery voltage source because an LED must be used with a resistor to limit the amount of electricity or the current flowing through it. So otherwise it might burn or get damaged. And there are two ways to tell. There's one way the way I'm going to be describing this is for the LED, the longer wire is the positive. So this, as you can see, this is the longer part, and this would be the shorter part of the wire. So resistors, I have a 220 ohm resistor right here, right there. It resists the flow of electricity, and the unit of resistance is called the ohm. So today I'm using the 220 ohm resistor. So yes, now I gave a basic overview of everything. Again, this is just connectivity wires, LED, resistor. Here's the resistor, LED, Uno R3 breadboard. We also have a USB cable for connectivity at the end. So let's start making our LED. So first thing we want to do is of course line this up right here. And now I'm going to take these two wires, the male-to-male jumper wires. Now since today we're using 5 volts. So let me start with the red one. go in with the red one. And I'll explain this at the end, but you can see right here, we have 5 volts right over here. We have 5 volts. So if you can see that, so right here, 5 volts, 5V, right there, that's 5 volts. So we're going to use 5 volts, so let me quickly go ahead and put this inside the 5 volt. There we go, 5 volts. Now that that's connected, we want to use our breadboard. And you look at there's also a thing right here, so we can connect this. We have to connect this to the 4th. So as you can see, there's like rows of these 2 by 5 squares. So we want to connect it to the 4th group. So if I can go right here, and it's the one right here. If you can see that, connect it right there. Now let's use the other wire, which is the black wire, or other colored wire. So I'm going to place this into the slot that says GND, which stands for ground. So I'm going to place that's right next to the 5 volt. Now this thing actually can't handle 5 volts, and we're gonna have to use another way of stopping 5 volts from going in. It can't handle just 5 volts. We'll use the resistor as well at the end. But as you can see, it went in, and we can now go ahead and connect it. This will go to the one diagonal above it right here. Cool. Now we have our wires, which are connected. These 2 wires are connected. So now we will need to use our 220 ohm resistor. I like to use the resistor at first, but you can go ahead and use the LED first if you want. So the 220 ohm resistor, we're supposed to place it right, it's right behind where the 40 is. So if you can see right here, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we're going to place it in the square right below 40. So of course I'm going to look at that. 40 is right here, and we are going to place it. You also have to look at the bands. So the resistor actually has bands. You can see it. So as you can see, there's a red band right there. So we'll place it right here, and we'll make sure the bands are like that, and we're going to place it right above the 40, which is where it's supposed to go. And now it's supposed to go right here below the 40. So right here is where it's also supposed to go. There. We have our resistor in place. Now the LED, I've used this before, so it's bended up and stuff. It's not broken if it's bended up. You will have to bend it up. When it comes out, like the LED, when it comes right out, it's not bended up and stuff. It's supposed to be like straight. So yeah, it's supposed to be straight. So you won't obviously find the LED coming like this when you buy the kit or whatever you get it. So of course, like I mentioned earlier, the positive side is the longer lead or wire, which we can see is this. Obviously, and this is the shorter part. You want to make sure you get the positives and the negatives right. If you don't, it's going to be a problem, and it might like burn or something, or explode or something like that. So you want to make sure you're careful with that. So this is supposed to be right underneath the other part of the resistor right over here. Connect that, or I can actually do it right here. Should be easier. It might take some practice to do this on the first time. It isn't that easy, but yeah, done. So we have now connected the LED. So this is the connection schematic right here. This is the how it's supposed to be connected. So if you take a look at this, we have the Uno R3. We have the Uno R3 Arduino. We have the connectivity wires, male to male jumper wires. We have the LED and the resistor to resist the flow of electricity. A 220 ohm resistor, keep that in mind. So yeah, this is the final view right here. So as you can see, it doesn't really work right now, but that's because we need power. So I have a USB cable right here. You can use any USB cable. I just have this one. So yeah, I'll need a USB cable, obviously. And I'm going to turn this around real quick. There we go. Alright. Here we go. Alright. So to connect this, you'll need like a computer or something. So I have a computer. There. You'll need any source of power. So this part right here, you can connect right here. Plug in. Just do this. It's in. And of course we have the other part, which you can connect to any like source of power or anything like that. So let me just show how this actually works. So we have that right there. There we go, lit up. As you can see, it just lit up. It's a little less brighter, but that's fine. You can see we also have stuff lighting up right here. That indicates that's on and stuff. So obviously we did it. We connected it to a source power. As you can see, I did that right there. And yeah, that is how I connected the Uno R3 and made an LED out of this. Very good use of this. Yeah, of course, this was a very easy starter project, but obviously I will go over harder stuff in the future. But this is just the first video to my Arduino series. So yeah, that is how you make an LED with the Uno R3.